So everyone's telling you to wait. The news, your friends, even some realtors. But here's the truth. 2025 may be the best time to purchase a home since 2019. Not because prices are crashing, not because rates are perfect, but because the panic is a lot louder than the data. I'm Eric Hamilton. I'm a top 1% lender in the country. I'm here to break down all the noise, bring you real numbers so you can act with clarity and not urgency. Let's talk about the 5 real reasons that I believe that this market is stronger today than what people give it credit for, and how you can use strategy and not fear to lock in that advantage. So reason number 1 is rates are stabilizing. So, we're not at 7.5% anymore. Most of the first part of this year and most of the summer, rates were above 7% because of tariffs and a lot of the uncertainty that we were seeing in the market. And right now we're hovering right around about 6.5% on average, is the average 30-year fix. So that's the lowest rate that we've seen in the last 10 months. So that's more stability. And that stability is really the green light that is actually creating a little bit of activity right now. And when buyers start to feel rates are not going to spike anymore, they are more likely to re-enter with confidence. So again, currently rates are at 10-month lows. When rates move lower, then more buyers will re-enter the market. We have plenty of pent-up demand from sellers and from buyers. So there's right now some opportunities to negotiate. And we even are seeing some people choose some adjustable rate options that offer some additional savings that we haven't seen for quite some time. So rates are stabilizing, and that's the one main reason that we're seeing people start to re-enter the market. And it's a good opportunity since 2019. Reason number 2, buyer sentiment is at rock bottom. So why is that good for the market? So 72% of Americans say now is a bad time to buy. That's extreme, but it's also a signal. When everyone else is scared, the buyers who move with strategy and not emotion tend to win in the long run. Learn to separate headlines from housing data. And remember, headlines are to really terrify you more than they are to provide clarity, okay? Headlines do more to drive fear than provide any type of clarity. Mortgage strategy provides confidence and clarity. So competition's a little bit lower today. The interesting thing is that some people are waiting for rates to move lower, but sometimes the odd opportunity is when everyone else is kind of on the sidelines, and fewer competing offers will lead to better terms. Reason number 3, I believe that this is the best market that we've seen since 2019, is that many people are misunderstanding inventory right now, okay? And I feel number 3 reason is the pandemic pulled sales forward. So during the pandemic, we were selling about 6 million homes per year in a healthy market. That dipped to just under 4 million recently. Not because demand just completely disappeared, but because COVID accelerated it. We pulled forward years of sales during COVID in 2020 and 21 that would have happened later on, and maybe even right now. So in 20 and 21, we saw a historic surge in activity. Work from home, low mortgage rates were in 3%. Lifestyle shifts created artificial urgency bubble. We had people, moving to the South and different markets because they weren't tied to a job where they had to go in every day. So instead of 6 million homes sold per year, which was normal, we hit in 2020 6.5 million. In 2021, 6.9 million people bought a home, one of the highest on record. Okay, so that spike wasn't just pulled out of the sky, it was the future getting pulled into the present. And that's why most people aren't understanding where current inventory is and why now we have much lower sales. So reason number 4 is sellers are starting to get more motivated again. This is in 2021. Roughly 44% of sellers right now are offering concessions, rate buydowns, closing cost credits. They're making repairs. Some are even doing upgrades we've seen. Builders are also offering a ton of incentives. So in a typical market, 1 in 3 homes see a price reduction. Nationally, that number right now is around 41.7%. So focus on concessions versus price reductions to help with affordability. Many sellers in certain markets are willing to provide concessions. These concessions can be used to buy down your rate versus just getting a lower sales price. And I'll cover on that a little bit towards the end. Reason number 5 is prices are flat. They're not falling. This is probably one of the most important things to understand, and I want to make sure we clear it up. Prices are not collapsing. They are cooling, and that is a very big difference. And it's also very healthy for the market. Right now, the national median existing home price is $435,300, which is actually up 2% year over year. Now, that's the slowest gain we've seen in a while, but that is not a crash. It is what we would call stability. This is what a healthy normalization of the housing market looks like after a runaway market for years. Inventory is still historically low, and that's keeping a floor under prices. Now, will home prices go down a little bit? Absolutely. So those are the 5 reasons, but let's take those 5 reasons and let's talk about strategic mortgage strategy on how to use this to your advantage, okay? So we're gonna take these 5 reasons and how to apply it to our offers and use strategy and not emotion. Now that we've broken down why today's market looks like the way it does, okay, pandemic demand pulled forward, prices stabilizing, low inventory, you need to know how to use this to your advantage. So number 1, leverage seller credits if you can get them for rate buydowns. So what does that mean? If a seller is offering the ability to negotiate a sales price lower, if you negotiate that $10,000 lower, you're gonna save about $60 a month. But a $10,000 rate buydown temporarily for the first few years could save you $300, $400, $500 a month. That is a massive win in the current market. Use seller concessions to lower your payment. Remember, buyers are starting to get more leverage in some markets. Tactic number 2 is compare lending scenarios strategically. A fixed rate isn't always the smartest play. Look at temporary buydowns, look at ARMs, and look at different ways to take advantage of the market. We will always compare side by side for every client and every scenario. The right choice is not always the lowest rate. That is the key. Smart buyers don't just shop rates, they run the full playbook. Tactic number 3 is your pre-approval is your negotiation power. It's what provides certainty. Fewer buyers are active right now. That means your pre-approval is going to stand out even more than ever. Sellers want clean, fast closings. Be that buyer. That is the key. Tactic number 4, if you feel a particular way about a price and you want to negotiate, use comps, use year-over-year sales volume drops, use the data, use the price trends to support your offer. Sometimes sellers will get offended if you just put in a low offer and don't provide any data. The best negotiations I see that come with success is the buyer and the buyer's agent present the data on why they feel the house is worth that. Emotion loses offers. Data wins them. I'll say that again. Emotion loses offers every single time, and data is the one that helps them win. So you can say, hey, Mr. Seller, June sales and this zip code were down 18%. Let's have a real conversation about value. Those are the types of things you want to use that data. And tactic number 5 is work with a realtor who understands timing. Great realtors aren't just showing homes. They're tracking price cuts, days on market, and seller patterns. The right offer on the right day can win the terms that others may miss. This market rewards strategy over speed. Work with someone who knows when to strike. Okay? So strategic buyers win when confidence is low. Again, this isn't a boom. It's not a bust. It's a market shaped by pandemic-era acceleration, economic uncertainty, and media-driven anxiety. And when fear runs high, strategy will always win. If you're looking for advice that cuts through the noise and gives you a real edge in the market, that is exactly what we do. Hit subscribe or reach out using the link below. This market isn't about timing, it is about strategy, and we're here to help you win with it.